Alrighty, guys, welcome to the Iowa State Texas Tech recap. I think we all know why we're here right now, and so I'll kick it off with Nick and Dylan. So we have it's not even a ghost pepper bet; it is now a scorpion pepper bet, and Dylan and Nick will be the ones executing it for us at Tech and Tortillas. So I want to get their input real quick before we start. So Dylan, how you feeling right now?
So I've had better days. My favorite team lost, my alma mater. I have to eat a pepper that might destroy the next couple days for me. But I'm here. Hey, every day you're alive is a good day, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Nick, how are you feeling right now?
Going into this, I was feeling okay about a ghost pepper, and then we didn't have any ghost peppers, so we, as we do, we upped the ante.
Oh,
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah. I like spicy food.
Awesome. Well, I have two more questions and we'll get it kicked off. So I need to know, how have y'all prepared? Any specific things that y'all have with you?
First, I have the scorpion peppers.
Okay.
Obviously. I have a Route 44 Sonic beverage.
I was hoping you were going to say a 44 glass of milk.
I have some whole milk.
Oh, okay, good.
From HEB.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Lunchable pizza. I don't know why. I just think the cardboard type material that is made from the pizza part, I think it's going to help me. And then just in case, some peanut butter M&Ms and a plastic bag just in case this thing goes sideways.
I'm not sure how much of that's actually going to help you, so good luck with that. Dylan, do you bring anything to prepare?
As do I, Troy. Have these hot-looking peppers, these scorpion peppers. I mistakenly did not go whole milk, but do have my HEB milk. I have, instead of a Route 44 Sonic drink, I have a large Sonic Blast, some ice cream. And I stocked up on different bathroom essentials just in case what this will bring.
Well, Dylan, I wish you the best of luck. And for those Iowa State fans that don't know, HEB is a great retailer, and they both got their milk from there. So kudos to y'all. I have one last question. Dylan, what's your safe word?
Blueberry.
Okay, I'll make note of that. Blueberry. And then Nick, what's your safe word?
When I got home today, I told my wife, I said, look, you're going to hear a lot of things from the old man cave. I said, no need to worry. However, if you hear the word cannonball, I need you to run. Cannonball, run. We're in trouble. I need you to get off your tuchus and take me to the hospital.
Awesome. Well, cannonball it is. Well, fellas, I'm going to say one more thing, and we'll kick it off. I'm going to attempt to keep this on the train tracks, but we all know that's not going to happen. I will not be partaking into the festivities. You guys know when I look at a jalapeno, it gives me, indigestion right away. So that will not be
just hiccups.
Yeah, I get the hiccups. So I have one of these, and we'll go ahead and get it started. So the floor is yours, and I'll start with the recap after y'all eat the peppers.
Dylan, 1, 2, 3, cheers.
Let me grab one here.
Cheers.
All right. Again, welcome to Tech and Tortillas. Nick and Dylan have put the peppers in their mouth.
Oh, mama.
So I'm going to start off with Iowa State and what they did well. Obviously, they're a very good team. And I want to shout out a couple.
Keep going.
I'm trying. I want to shout out a couple of players. Robert Jones and Gilbert played extremely well.
I feel like a dragon.
So Robert Jones really gave us problems in the first half.
Pain's not real. Pain's not real. Troy.
He looked like just a really good senior player.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think he was 4 for 4 in the first half and just really didn't make mistakes. Took a lot of advantage of our younger guys, 2 sophomores that we threw at him, and he just looked calm, cool, and collect. And obviously Gilbert had over 20. He had 24 points, so he was always
Troy, throw me a question. Throw me a question.
Nick, what did you think of Iowa State's performance?
I think they played real tough. They're a real tough team. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, so I see Dylan's drinking the milk. I'm not going to go for it right now. Iowa State,
It's getting hotter.
they play with heart at home. Okay, and I appreciate that. You knew they were going to be tough. Now, we did have Warren, and I think he's the butter. It butters the bread, Warren. And I'm going to tell you, we missed him. I think I can do one more pepper.
Okay, I'd love to see it. All right. I will say that this Iowa State team reminds me a lot of our
Troy,
2019 team.
I'm doing one more pepper.
Oh, God bless. They're very defensively sound, extremely athletic, and have a lot of experience on this team. They're all a lot of seniors in that starting lineup.
Yeah.
Their next game is against Houston, so I'm going to stay extremely close to that game and see who I need to put a future on, because I think both teams can make a run in the tournament. But now to Texas Tech, right? The first half was an absolute dumpster fire. Dylan, you got any thoughts on the first half?
Terrible. Anything. Worst offensive performance ever.
I think I'm past it. I think I've embraced the heat.
So, Dylan, you hit it spot on, right? I want to call out three guys, right? Pop Isaacs, Joe Toussaint, and Chance McMillan. Combined to be, what was it, like 3 for 14, I think, and 0 from 8 from 3. You can't have that out of your, better shooters and some of the most experience you have. And so I would say that 3 was probably key in this game to have a shot at Iowa State, and we didn't give ourselves a chance in that first half. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Troy?
Yep. Hit me, Nick.
I completely agree with you. I don't think when Warren's not playing and we're not hitting threes, we're in big time trouble.
I've seen you ventured into the ice cream.
Wait, here's what I'm going to say. We need our big time players. And Troy, I'm sorry if I didn't listen to a word you said.
That's fine. Tell me what you think.
If our big time players aren't hitting shots, we're not going to go very far. And, it reminds me of like NBA teams back in the early 2000s when they started shooting threes a lot more consistently. The question was always, that term, live by the 3, die by the 3.
Yeah, I felt like that today.
I think we're one of those teams, especially if Warren's not playing. And we gotta, it is what it is, So, yep. But I think Warren's coming back soon, so we should be okay.
Nick, to tag on to that point, I think that's spot on. I will like to say, though, that the 2 sophomores, Lindsay and Jennings, they got really good.
Troy, can I just say I ate, so the second pepper, I ate it. It feels like it's in my ear. My tongue doesn't burn, my ear hurts.
Yeah. That's Dylan, how are you feeling? Don't touch your face. Dylan, don't touch your face. Yeah, Nick, so I think you're spot on with that point. To that, Lindsay, was probably our second leading scorer in the first half. So that's just never going to be a good thing. Not that he can't become a solid ball player, but he currently probably averages like 5 minutes a game. So you're not going to succeed if that is the case.
Troy.
Yep.
No one could stop Jones in the first half. Big guy kept rebounding.
Dude, I really like Jones. That guy was pretty impressive, to be honest. He was very consistent, and I have a bullet point on that, but he just seemed older and wiser than the 2 guys we were throwing at him, right? He was playing against Lindsay and Jennings, 2 sophomores, and he just seems like the old guy in the paint, right? Old reliable, putting 10 points on him, and it was an easy 10 too. So good for him. My last point about the first half was Williams' growth continues to happen, right? if it weren't for him, I think they would have been up 20 points at half because Williams was rebounding, he was scoring, he was consistent, and he had another good performance. So I think the narrative has kind of shifted from Pop maybe being the future to Williams is definitely the future. Any thoughts on Williams' progression? Dylan?
Well, Troy, I think,
Nick?
I think, they still have a bright future. I think Pop's okay. He's gotta be more consistent, right? You can't miss 7 threes?
Yeah, he was 0 for 7.
Yeah, you can't be 0 for 7, but Pop's okay. He'll be all right. The exciting thing, let's get excited. If him and Darion can grow together, that's big time.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, I love the idea of having two guys that can be exciting together. Dylan, quick question for you. How's the milk helping?
For like a second, it helps. I feel like I'm better, but there's heat on the lips and the throat, the ears.
I feel good. I feel dangerous.
Do you want to do a third, Nick?
Should I do a third?
Hey, you're in Nicky's Coliseum. You already doubled down. You're kind of hot. He's feeling dangerous, ladies and gentlemen.
I chewed the first one way too much. You told me before I shouldn't, and I chewed it all over the mouth. It was bad.
Yeah, that'll do that. There he goes with the milk. I'm going to get into a couple more new points, right? I want to talk about where we struggled. And again, we touched on how
I got you.
Iowa State was. The 16 turnovers. And, they weren't necessarily, in all cases, forced. There were some really bad passes. But those 16 turnovers, oh, no. He's going to eat another, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Lord, amen. All right, so Nick goes in for another one. Those 16 turnovers led to 28 points. So, Dylan, what were your thoughts on the turnovers?
We
Okay.
way too many passes into tight windows, Troy, and they just kept doing it, and they didn't learn their lessons. And over time, it was always when my tongue's going, man. It was always when it seemed like we were about to start coming back or making a run. They just try to start a break with a long pass that gets stolen. It was always at the worst times. And then just a bunch of dumb turnovers on
My lips.
not looking at the ball when you're catching it. And just a lot of things like that, Troy. But you can't turn the ball over against a team that good defensively. And we paid for it the first half.
You just can't. You just can't.
I agree, Nick. You really can't. And they were very careless passes. Nick, do you have any other thoughts on the turnovers?
You can't.
Yeah. I don't think you can either. The other thing was, so the points in the paint. It didn't feel like the Baylor game because I feel like with this game, it definitely a part of that was the turnovers, like 28 points of that. So it never felt like we were extremely overmatched with the exception of Jones, right? He had his day in the paint. He kind of slowed down in the second half. But with the exception of him, I didn't feel like we were too overmatched. Nick, what were you saying? Nothing. Okay. He's taking a pill. So, yeah, I thought Jones did extremely well, but it didn't have that same feel in the Baylor game where it just felt like, I think they only hit 5 threes. And so really there wasn't a big rebounding discrepancy. It wasn't free throw discrepancy. It was really decision-making and just the effort that Iowa State played with. We saw our turnovers turn into points. We saw the effort consistently. They were diving on the floor when they were up by 19. Like, my goodness. Like, where is that? That effort was consistent. They were just tenacious on that side of it. And I think that's where the big gap was the defensive intensity and just the overall decision-making. Any thoughts on that, Dylan?
Yeah, so the intensity and the effort really stood out to me. There were, I'm counting my second wind. There were a few moments in that game where a tip pass or turnover, you see their players running and diving on the floor, and you see ours just kind of standing there watching, and you could see McCaslin losing his mind at that a few times. And I think we had those moments where they went on runs and the going got tough, and we quit for a couple minutes in that game, and they made us pay for it. Now, second half, we got it together. Probably a good talking to in the halftime locker room, but they got it going in the second half. But there were just a lot of times where you could tell the Iowa State team was hustling, diving, going for the ball a lot harder than it seemed like some of our guys were at the time.
Yeah, it felt like a little bit of a different team in the second half. Did you just put 2 in your mouth?
He's on the Lunchables.
Oh, he's on to the Lunchables. We're on to Cincinnati, baby. All right.
The Lunchables didn't help. Oh, that made it worse. Oh, mama.
Yeah, but it felt like a different team.
A lot worse. I learned that.
Yeah. Felt like a different team in the second half. We brought it in, I think, within 7 at one point. And so really Toussaint turned around. Obviously, he got into double digits. McMillan had a couple of points. He got to double digits as well. But Pop never got it going. And so those 3 guys are pretty foundational to our success, especially with Washington out. So that just can't keep happening going forward. So today for the 3-point line for the 3 of those guys, 3 for 17. So, Nick, to your first point, right? Live and die by the 3. And Toussaint made all 3 of those. So
I said that? When did I say that?
You said that was your first point. So,
wow.
Nick, any thoughts on 3 for 17 with Toussaint being the one that made all 3 of them?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Dylan, any thoughts?
So, hang on. I'm back. I was thinking about making a pepper Lunchable, but the heat's coming back. I don't need to do that. Down the roof of my mouth. I don't think it's actually okay. So here's the thing: the slushie I have is a lemonade slushie, and I think it stings my mouth. So that didn't help. Okay, yeah, I think if Toussaint is your guy making threes, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. 3 for 17 is not only is it not going to get the job done, but for a team that's built like ours, I mean, 3 for 17, you might as well just close the doors for the day. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Walton didn't really have an impact in the first half. They definitely made a conscious effort to get him going. So he did hit a 3 right away, but no presence in that first half either. And he's probably our best, probably most consistent 3-point shooter. So that's where you probably need to get him some looks in the first half, especially when the other guys aren't going. What were your thoughts with the shooting, Dylan?
One, we got to hit open shots when we get them. That started to get a little frustrating as the game went on. Just wasn't our day from the 3-point line, and that happens. It's unfortunate when it happens when Washington is out, so you don't have that down low presence, right? But overall, I think you're right. I think you hit it spot on where second half they really did try to make an effort to get Walton the ball a lot more. And he did fine. I mean, he missed a few, but you could tell he was kind of forcing some at the end because he knew that was really our only chance, right? But yeah, it's just inconsistent play, and our top players didn't show up in a game where you're only going to win if all your top players show up. You're not going to go to Iowa and win in Ames in the Hilton Coliseum if your best players aren't playing their best.
Yep.
Yeah. We're lucky that we kept it that close. And honestly, it wasn't really even that close. We just brought it to a closer deficit at the end of the game. So kudos to them. We didn't show up. They did. And I want to give a couple of players a shout out, right? Jennings and Lindsay did well with the minutes that they got. I don't think we lost that game in the paint. Jennings probably had the career high with 13 points, and they both made really good decisions in the paint. I didn't think they forced anything. They went to the foul line a couple of times, and so I thought that they took what they gave them, and they made good decisions with it. So I'm excited to see that. 2 sophomores. I will say that early on, we've already brought up that Jones played really well against them, but I think they settled in the second half against that senior presence against him. So I was excited to see that step taken forward. And then the last point I want to get into, and maybe we can get into the rest of the season after this, but Pop, man. So the last few games, and I already mentioned that trio. I think it was 6 for 32 and 6 for 36 for that trio over the last couple of games. Got a tiny bit better today, but Pop went 2 for 11. So 3 straight games where under, 10% probably. Like, what's going on? If you want to be the guy, you can't do that. Not 3 games in a row, 0 for 7 for 3. So what are your thoughts? What's going on right now?
Yeah, I think all we need to really say about that is I think, and side note, my tummy's starting to hurt. I think all we need to say about, I don't think we need to touch on it too much. I think he just either something's going on with him or he just needs to get in the gym and work on a little bit. But he's obviously, one of our best players, supposed to be one of our best players, right? We expect him to be. He is one. He needs to just show up, because if he doesn't show up, we might win a couple games, but we ain't gonna win many games. So I think that's all we need to say about it.
Okay, Dylan, anything you want to add?
Yeah. At the end of the day, he is your best player. You do go as he goes, as Nick said. So, yeah, he's having a rough stretch. A lot of guards in America are going to have a rough stretch playing in the Big 12, right? Especially these teams that we have to play. So he'll figure it out. I think sometimes he can get caught up in the, swings of the game, but he'll get through that as he keeps playing more and more and more. And we need him if we want to get as far as we want to get this year. So I believe in him. I think he's good enough and has the talent to get through this.
Yeah, I like that call out. And you think about some of the top teams in our conference with Houston and Iowa State and even Baylor. When you play some of those bigger guards that are maybe more NBA ready in a sense, it seems like we struggle. And it takes a second for them to get going. We saw that finally Chance and Toussaint got going, but you can't have that stall in the first half. So let's move on and go forward, and let's see what we can do. So looking forward, we have a few games coming up, right? We got 6. I keep seeing on the ESPN app that we're still on the bubble watch. I don't necessarily agree with that. But we have TCU, UCF, and Texas, our next 3 games. So what are your thoughts? 6 to finish, right? 6 more games. What are your thoughts on our next couple of games and how we're going to finish the season? Nick?
I think if we keep going much longer, I'm going to need to eat another pepper. But I think we'll be. I haven't seen many people say we're still on the bubble. I saw we're safely in on most people's boards. I'm not too concerned. We can't lose all 6 games, but I don't see that being an issue. And again, when Warren's in, I don't know which individual from TechNTortillas posted this, whether it was Dallas, Jose, you, or someone. I agree. I think we can win any game when we're healthy. That doesn't mean we will win every game, but I think we can make a deep run. Warren Washington is phenomenal. It's just when he's out, I'm worried. So, but I understand he's coming back. So if he comes back, I think we're fine, and I don't think we have anything to worry about. Do we win all 6? Let's do it. But will we win all 6? Absolutely.
Nick, I like that. I do want to clarify. To your point, I don't see many people saying we're on the bubble. It's literally just a notification after we lose games or win games.
Yeah, but Troy, that's ESPN.
I know. I don't like it. All right.
They're like, hey, man. They're like big pharma. Okay. They just want to get in your wallet.
Nick, don't say that too loud. All right. If the peppers don't get you, big pharma will. All right.
The peppers are working with big pharma. Yeah. Well, no, but Troy, because after I ate those peppers, now I'm going to need a prescription.
Yeah, and
for some type of ointment.
Yeah. Let's get off that topic. Dylan, what are your thoughts on the end of the season?
So, Troy, as you and I have been on many of these together, I think before talking about season predictions, I stuck through 23-8. It's still going to be 23-8. This is a game I had circled as a loss. We lost it. Don't worry. We're still going to win the rest. No, we might lose one more. But, yeah, well, we'll end up finishing the season strong. It's a pretty maintainable, easy schedule to run through, and there's never easy games in the Big 12, so I know that's a dangerous word to say, but it's what you would prefer your schedule to be at the end of the year in the Big 12. So I think we can kind of handle it. The big games we have left, we do play some of them at home, so that helps, right? You still have UCF again. So I think we can do it. We can manage this.
Look, Troy, here's what I'll tell you. If there's a bet out there where you can take an alternate win line for the rest of the season at over 5.5, you take it. Because we ain't losing again.
All right. I like that prediction. Awesome. Wow. So I do want to make one call out. TCU won on a buzzer 3 today, or pretty close to it. So that'll be a tough game. UCF played them before. Texas at home. So we know how that's going to be. Electric atmosphere. West Virginia at West Virginia. They're always frisky at home. Oklahoma State, I believe, got a W against BYU again. So what are the chances they get another one against a good opponent? Who knows? They might. I don't know. Maybe not against us, though. And then Baylor to finish the season off at home. So to Dylan's point, pretty favorable schedule. So let's go ahead and get above that 23 mark, and let's win some more games. But
I heard you just named a bunch of wins.
check, and check.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts for you guys, Dylan?
Yeah, Dylan. Peanut butter M&M minis, they are a lifesaver. They're just helping.
Well, let me ask you this then. So overall thoughts on the pepper, Dylan, I'll start with you. What was your experience? How was it? Any call outs?
Pain.
Pain?
It didn't feel good, Troy. It burned everywhere. Back of my throat, lips, roof of my mouth. It just wasn't good. Everything I wish it wasn't.
The tops of my feet.
Yeah. I feel it. And it's funny.
Gave me athlete's foot.
Nick said his ears earlier. My ears started to hurt really bad. I mean, that was terrible, dude. I chewed it too much, and it was hard going down.
Nice. Nick, what was your overall experience?
The first one, obviously I did pretty well. I mean, all things considered.
3 of them, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't touch the milk till like 2 minutes, a minute after the third one.
Yeah.
Not to say there's anything wrong with that. I completely trust me. I mean, the milk was wonderful. The first pepper, I got scared because it like squirted in my mouth when I chewed it, and I felt it right when it did it, like the heat, and that was a fear that I don't want to ever experience again. But then I chewed it a few times, swallowed it, and I was like, okay, this hurts. But then after that, I kind of rolled with it, So
yeah, I would say you embraced it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you heard this halfway, like maybe 2 minutes after I ate the first one, I claimed to be a dragon.
Oh,
and
that'll do it.
And I think I embraced that. Yeah.
Dragon mentality, man. Dragon mentality. Dragon mentality. Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. I had a thought process going into it. A few chews, try to, 2 or 3 chews, then swallow. That's why I was able to do maybe 3 of them. That last one I chewed like 4 times, 5 times, and I almost threw up swallowing it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because I knew my body wouldn't allow me to do that. So we'll see. But you know what? This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So Dylan and I have a very uncomfortable couple of days ahead of us. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. Well, final question.
Yeah.
Dylan,
okay. Awesome.
Well, I just need to know, what are y'all going to do with the rest of the peppers?
You want to see me one more? I'm probably gonna throw them away.
Okay. Dylan,
I don't foresee me eating anymore. Well, actually, I mean, when's Tech's next game?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Tuesday.
I'm holding for our next dumb decision.
Yeah, Tuesday. Well, we better win.
We better win. Yeah, I will say that I enjoyed my seat this recap. Glad where I was sitting. You guys did an excellent job, and I appreciate what y'all had to go through there. Thank y'all for watching us. That was our TechNTortilla's post-game recap.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms.
Like and subscribe. Please make this worth it.
Yes, please make them worth it. If you guys want to see us do it again, let us know. But again, No. Thank y'all. Wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em. Wreck 'em.